but there may be a new star on the rise in Wisconsin, number 22 in red, the redshirt freshman Ethan Happ.
What a skill set. They went through him down the stretch. He had 15 points, came up with 9 rebounds, but I was impressed with the 3 assists. Comfortable playing through the double team, had a block shot, 2 steals, and like you said, 15 out of the 47. That's a lot of points.
When you go for the percentages of the total points scored, I like it. Yeah, Wisconsin, the first team to win an NCAA tournament game scoring fewer than 50 points since '03. Happ had 15 of those, and Wisconsin survived a bully fest with the Pitt Panthers. Xavier, the 2 seed, 28 wins this year. They were as high as 5 in the AP poll this season. They finished number 9 in the AP poll, and this might be the best team they have had. It is their highest seed as a 2 seed for Chris Mack entering the NCAA tournament, and off we go. Xavier controls the tip. Their lengthy point guard, the 6'6" Edmund Sumner, will run the show, and the high-flying Xavier Musketeers, they want to get up, run as fast as they can. You know Wisconsin, Steve, they're wanting to slow things down.
Yeah, it's all about pace on both sides. One team wants to get up and down in transition, the other wants to slow it down.
Edmund Sumner gets off the first shot. Xavier, an 18-point victory. Friday tied their second largest margin of victory in a tournament game, NCAA tournament game. And Wisconsin able to get to this round of 32. Nigel Hayes comes up short. Wisconsin knows they need big production today out of Nigel Hayes. He and Bronson Koenig have been very quiet the last 2 games. That covers the Big Ten tournament and the first round of the NCAA tournament.
For sure. I mean, you talk about Nigel Hayes was 3 for 17 yesterday, and Bronson Koenig 1 for 8, and he still got the victory.
Wisconsin, a familiar name in the NCAA tournament, back-to-back Final Fours, made it to the championship game last year, losing to Duke. Here's Hayes, turnaround, he's missed his first 2, and it's Happ who comes away with the tip. Offensive rebound, and the first points of the night belong to the freshman.
You can see Xavier is pushing the basketballs. Edmund's doing a good job, Sumner, of throwing the basketball ahead, trying to get some easy looks.
Talked to Greg Gard, the Wisconsin coach, the man who took over for Bo Ryan. Said, who does Xavier remind you of? He goes, well, let's see, Maryland, Purdue, maybe Michigan State. So the best 3 teams in the Big Ten Conference. We're going to travel and a turnover for Xavier. Greg Gard was the interim coach. That label was taken off him by athletic director Barry Alvarez right before the Big Ten tournament. He signed a multi-year deal. And Bo Ryan's longtime assistant, 23 years, got his first NCAA tournament win over Pitt on Friday night.
Interesting matchups right here for Xavier. You can see they're switching everywhere, but then they have Vito Brown. Miles Davis is giving up a lot of height, but he's guarding Vito Brown. Wisconsin needs to try to take advantage of it.
Blewett, an excellent defender on Hayes. Shot clock at 4. Hayes, little turnaround, pump fake, nothing there. Brown for 3. Got it. There is, as you can hear, a lot of energy in this arena.
Yes, and you talk about Vito Brown. He's been shooting lights out the last 13 games, 63%. First 20 games, only 11%. Good defense by Wisconsin.
Reynolds turns it over. Vito Brown, they're starting to call him Frito Brown in Madison, Wisconsin.
And clutch threes, comfortable knocking down those shots.
Happ and Brown combined for 26 in that win on Friday. With 3 threes, Brown hit them all. Never took a 3 first couple of years, hardly played. And he stepped into the limelight in a big way. Happ inside, double team comes. Shot clock down to 5.
The Musketeers getting out.
Here's Hayes, 4-3, misses again. Starts 0 for 3 in transition. Remy Abel can't get the finger roll to go.
Koenig did a fantastic job. Abel coming full speed. He took away his right hand and then got back to the left and made him take a tough shot that he missed.
Almost a turnover. Showalter. And down the floor goes Sumner. Great hustle. In transition again. Blewett taking on Hayes. Blocked. Brown's got it. numbers here for Wisconsin. 3-on-1. Showalter to Happ. And a foul on Sumner.
Well, look at this. He takes away his right hand, but able to slide and contest. Able trying to get back to his right hand. Didn't have a good angle. Bronson Koenig doing a nice job. When you talk about pace, Bryant, Wisconsin is pushing the pace.
They said they'll push it when it is appropriate to push. As Happ hits the first. A reminder to watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. Ethan Happ, 1 out of 2. James Farr off the bench. Early minutes for Farr, who went for 18 points and 15 rebounds in that win on Friday night against Weber State. He was impressive off the bench, to say the least.
And he can be the stabilizer.
Here's Miles Davis. Got the 3. First points of the night for Xavier comes from Miles Davis.
He's the rock. He's the glue. 6'2", does a little bit of everything. 6 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Those are the numbers he had versus Weber State in the last outing.
The 6'10" Reynolds out. The 6'10" Farr checks in. When you're talking about the Xavier size across the board, they are massive, and yet they are extremely athletic. Again, the shot clock gets deep. Koenig, a little spin, and fall back. Can't get it to go, and it's Blewett with the rebound. Sumner got a wide open lane, and a foul. Jordan Hill just checked in. Sumner sensed the lane, and he'll go to the free throw line. Takes us to our first timeout.
And look at Miles Davis. Great closeout. Great elevation on the jump shot. Splash.
Welcome back to St. Louis, Wisconsin with an early 3-point lead over Xavier. It's been pretty well documented that when head coach Greg Gard took over the Wisconsin program back in December, he had just lost his father after a 6-month battle with brain cancer. Glenn Gard died back in October. When Greg went to be introduced to the media, he had taken the program from his father's funeral with him, put it in his coat pocket. Ever since, he's carried it with him on game days, and he puts it on the left side to have it close to his heart. It's his way of having his father with him at all times, guys.
That's a beautiful story, Dana. Thanks for sharing that. Greg Gard taking over as the head man, and by all accounts, talking to Bo Ryan, covering Wisconsin earlier in the year, Bo Ryan was fully content to hand over the program to Greg Gard before the season, but because of the situation with the family, he didn't feel like Greg was completely into it. Obviously taking care of all the family business. Greg's mother, Connie, is here, and Greg's wife, Michelle, and his 3 kids. That was a very difficult time for them, so it lasted until December, until Bo Ryan finally stepped down and Gard took over. And he's got him here in the NCAA tournament. It's been an impressive run. Here's Koenig with the shot clock deep again, and how about Happ? Oh, swatted by Farr. He'll have Koenig in there, can't get it to go. Happ's got another one, and it's poked away by Blewett.
Farr does a nice job. And there's Sumner, there's that athletic ability, and that is beautiful.
Oh man, Edmund Sumner. He has some serious skill.
Yes, he does.
Big East all-freshman team, excellent defender at 6'6", and his offensive game can be a factor. It's streaky, but it can be a factor. Happ. Nice.
He's
Pretty
so good. Brian, he's so good. He's so clever and crafty. We're talking about redshirt freshman leading the way for the Badgers.
He was the freshman of the year in the Big Ten. So you're looking at 2 of the top freshmen in 2 of the top conferences in all of college basketball. Miles Davis can't get one to go down. He hit the first 3, put Xavier on the board. Tempo in this game so important as Hayes splits the double team. He's fouled. And Nigel Hayes to the free throw line, to the 2 freshmen we're watching.
Well, let's watch
tonight.
Sumner. Great crossover, throwing that body, just a little sleight of body into the defense. And there's Ethan Happ doing a nice job of just plogging his way into the paint and scoring.
Nigel Hayes at the free throw line. Led the Big Ten in free throw attempts this year. Can't connect on the first. Your teams, your highlights, your scores, all in one place. Download Team Stream, the free app from Bleacher Report. Wisconsin, the 7 seed. Xavier, the 2 seed. The winner will play Notre Dame in the East Regional in Philadelphia. And on the other side of that bracket is Carolina and Indiana. How about that matchup?
That's going to be fantastic to watch. Tom Crean, Roy Williams, and for Chris Mack right now, he has both his bigs in. James Farr and also Jalen Reynolds.
It's a loaded region in the East. James Farr, the lefty, fires, can't hit, and it's Showalter. He is a high flyer. Showalter gives it to Brown. Brown for 3. Back iron, that was lined up. And out of bounds, off of Wisconsin. That'll be Xavier ball.
That shot looked good, though. I give Jalen Reynolds a lot of credit. Used to playing in the inside, got out and contested that 3.
Chris Mack's Xavier Musketeers. They had an impressive run through the Big East. 14-4 this year. As Koenig checks back in, he'll pick up Hayes. Xavier lost in the semifinal of the Big East tournament to Seton Hall. But a team that can get up and down. They average over 81 points per game. Jalen Reynolds back in and on the scoreboard.
Nice job by Jalen. He wanted it. He asked for it and converted. Nice little roll hook. And you can see Xavier into their 1-3-1 where there's 2 bigs, one at the free throw line, one in the back. And usually on a 1-3-1, Brian, there's a small guard that chase corners. James Farr is just going to stay right there in the paint and protect.
Koenig open for 3. Comes up short. You gotta wonder though with Wisconsin, Koenig and Hayes. These are 2 guys they rely on heavily. Can they beat a team the caliber of Xavier without those 2 performing well? Makes it 1 and done. One thing about Wisconsin that Greg Gard told us, their defensive effort against Pitt is what allowed them to win that game despite the low scoring. Is Vito Brown, he's given them a lot of offense the last couple of games.
Short corner jump shots in rhythm, 3s in rhythm, and look at him and Jalen Reynolds fight for position.
JP Macura, 6th man of the year of the Big East, and step back. Wow, that was halfway down. Tough break for Macura. And again, it's 1 and done for Xavier. Here's Koenig again.
The shot is just off.
0 for 2. From behind the arc for Bronson Koenig. Hayes is 0 for 3. Macura strong in there. Ball's knocked away. No foul. Play on.
And as you can see on this 1-3-1, you can get the basketball into the corners. There's another shot for Koenig.
His 3rd try, and it's true this time. Bronson Koenig.
And he wanted that one.
Had missed his first 4 shots.
If you're Xavier, obviously guards, you can get some shots, but if you're going to play with these 2 bigs, find a way to get it down low and play inside out.
Miles Davis in amongst the trees. That was blocked. Not sure if they'll give it to Thomas or Brown. Charlie Thomas, the freshman, just checks in for Wisconsin. There's Jordan Hill. Give it up. Brown passed it up. Koenig again. Feeling it maybe. Back to back. Bronson Koenig. Timeout, Chris Mack. Biggest lead. Jumping out quick. Bucky Badger up 17-8.
That is nice. Bronson Koenig, if he gets going, then they're waiting from Nigel Hayes. Right now, 17-8. Wisconsin had 16 at half. In their last outing, they're up 9.
Well, you know Mark Turgeon. He don't want to look ahead, but he played for Kansas. Turgeon was on that Final Four team in 1986. That would be quite a matchup for sure. Here in St. Louis, Wisconsin on an 11-2 run over Xavier. And it's going to take us to a media timeout. So we'll get a chance to take a break, catch a breath, be back from St. Louis right after this. The Wisconsin Badgers leading by 9 in the early run here in St. Louis. Winner headed to the Sweet 16. Wisconsin on an 11-2 run, and Steve Smith We talked about Bronson Koenig and his importance in this game against Xavier. Why?
Well, I think him being able to knock down shots, he's definitely struggled, but he's knocked down 2 today. You can see the last 3 games, 3 of 17. One big reason Jordan Hill's been on the floor with him, another ball handler. Second, Xavier going to that 1-3-1 trapping zone, gave him easy looks from the wing.
You got to give Koenig a lot of credit. He just kept shooting. He had missed 14 consecutive three-pointers until he just hit the back-to-back threes. Jordan Hill will shoot a 3. Too strong. And Reynolds secures it. Wisconsin scored the first 6 points. Xavier scored the next 6. And now it's an 11-2 Badger run. Step back for Makura. Got it.
That's a big-time play. JP at that 6'5", handling the basketball. Used his shoulder, created some space. Didn't push off. And then got a chance to get back on balance and knock down that jump shot.
Plays such a vital role for Xavier. JP Makura, top 6 man in the Big East Conference this year. It's a big bucket for Xavier. Badgers up 7, half working on Reynolds. Again, the shot clock to single digits. And Hayes kicks it. Shot clock at 2. Jordan Hill can't get it to go. Kaiser Gates with the rebound, the freshman.
And Kaiser Gates had a nice game. The last one came off the bench, 7 points in 10 minutes.
Sumner turns a corner. Hill falls down at a whistle, and Sumner will shoot free throws again. JP Makura, big basket early for Xavier just to settle him down a little bit.
Maybe he did get up way with a little push off. That's okay, JP.
Sumner will shoot the free throws, 74% through the regular season. A reminder, choose your favorite player on the court or for your taste with Coca-Cola and the NCAA tournament. Substitutions for Greg Gard. Khalil Iverson. Another freshman on the floor. You see the numbers for Sumner. 4th free throw for Xavier. They took only 4 in the entire game against Weber State, and all 4 of those were taken by James Farr, and he made all 4. But this is a team that gets to the free throw line a lot. They are 1 for 4 from the free throw line so far.
All 4 taken by Sumner, and he's 1 for 4 today. Good slip.
And Happ stops, finds Hayes. Ball's popping well for Wisconsin, and Vito Brown can't get it. Offensive board and a bad pass. Turnover. Kaiser Gates. Good defense there. Makura on the take. Creates a little space, and Makura's hit 2 big buckets off the bench for Xavier.
It was nice. He was driving it. And he's strong enough. Once he takes the bump, he doesn't get off balance. Another playmaker, decision maker for Chris Mack that can shoot the basketball.
Hayes will fire up a 3. Iverson and Sumner, and it's Sumner who rips it away. Up ahead in transition. Remy Abel, and a foul! Count it! Abel out like a flash. Bill Murray, his son, an assistant coach, and he's loving that.
That play made by Sumner, getting it out. And look at Abel being able to finish. Not a smart decision by Bronson Koenig. You got to just let him go on that one.
Remy Abel, his 11th NCAA tournament game. He started his career at Indiana. He knows Wisconsin well. Freshman, sophomore year with Tom Crean at Indiana. He transferred, trying to make it to his 4th consecutive Sweet 16. Xavier on a 7-0 run.
Run after run from both teams. We talked about pace.
Chris Mack told his team as we got another steal. Remy Abel goes up top. He's taken on 2 Badgers, and it's swatted by Iverson. Sumner got it back. Ball's loose. Hayes and the freshman Gates, and now Nigel Hayes on the board. The bigger, stronger Nigel Hayes wins out.
Yeah, Hayes just used his body to kind of go through Gates on that play.
And that is going to be a foul on Happ.
And as you can see, Abel coming, but look at Iverson, Khalil Iverson, and then Hayes with the steal and a nice dunk.
Back in St. Louis, our tournament summary, the ACC. 7 teams made it in. 6 of them are going to the Sweet 16. We just had Syracuse win on this floor, and they advance over Middle Tennessee. Buddy Hield goes for 36 today. Chris Mack, terrific head coach, son of a Marine, and a very good program in Xavier as we get a steal from Iverson and the high-flying Khalil Iverson. He's an easy jumper in a two-handed jam.
Making an impact. Coaching staff of the Badgers saying they feel he can come in on this defensive end and make an impact, and he did.
Blew it with the right hand.
Smooth.
Beautiful play. Trayvon blew it. The sophomore from Indianapolis. Played his high school ball with Yogi Ferrell of Indiana. Indiana, the lone Big Ten team in right now. Maryland trying to hang on, and Wisconsin here.
Look at Iverson.
Just up there in the clouds. Going to be a foul on Xavier.
Like you said, easy with 2 hands. Impressed. Strong. Hang time.
Miles Davis picks up his 2nd foul as Iverson was going for the rebound. And Chris Mack's going to have to make a substitution here. So Miles Davis will sit. Might not see him the rest of this half. Koenig hit back-to-back threes after missing his first 2. Rip it inside for Happ. Brown will take it and spin. Inside, Ethan Happ looking on O'Mara. Strong. Man, he locks you down somehow.
He does a nice job of keeping his shoulder right around your chin. And look at him work. And O'Mara, he has pretty good touch down there as well.
And O'Mara's a big body as well. Anything you can do, I can do better. Good answer. Sean O'Mara, another Xavier Musketeer at 6'10", did not score in Friday's first-round game, so he finally gets some points on the board.
You have O'Mara, you have Farr, you have Reynolds.
Happ with the left, and O'Mara clears it away.
O'Mara doing a good job.
Speed dribble Sumner, and looked like it might have been blocked from behind by Iverson.
I know my coach, Judd Heathcote, used to always tell me, play fast, but don't be in a hurry. Right now, Evan Sumner is in a hurry. You got to play fast and understand, be under control.
Size mismatch, and Vito Brown uses the glass. Well, Wisconsin flowing offensively. What we saw from Wisconsin in the Big Ten tournament against Nebraska, and then what we saw against Pitt, not indicative of the way they play, this run they've been on in conference play, as we get a foul with Abel on the take.
Look at it in the chest. Look at the shoulder. Go right up. That's good defense, but better offense by Happ.
That's his 2nd foul. He is prone to foul trouble, Ethan Happ. And Greg Gard awaiting substitutions as Remy Abel will shoot a pair. 77% free throw shooter during the regular season. And the changes being made here. So Ilkanen comes in for Wisconsin, and Chris Mack, Steve, immediately counters with James Farr, sensing a little go time here for Xavier with Happ on the bench.
And I thought O'Mara did a nice job. And Chris Mack can look down the bench, and he has players with talent. They had 30 points off the bench in their last game against Weber State. They're deep.
St. Louis is about 350 miles from both of these campuses. And a live wire crowd to see this matchup. Sumner able to keep it alive off the rim, and he gets the rebound, and Sumner kicks it. Blew it. Got it.
Now that's the way you play the point guard position. Push it up, but he was under control. Didn't make up his mind. Just surveyed the court with his speed. Kicked it out to Blewett for a nice jumper.
Blewett a 40% three-point shooter. Xavier's hit 2 tonight. Brown on McCura. What do we have? On the floor. Foul on Xavier.
Look at him, he's pushing, and then kicks it right to Blewett. That's the way Sumner has to play. Edmond doing a nice job of playing fast, but understanding he has to stay under control.
Sumner with 3 assists. He's turned it over twice. Pays the spin. Blewett's right there in his pocket. In the corner, Zach Showalter for 3. Rattles in and out. Ilikainen a push in the back and a foul on Wisconsin. Xavier ball. First foul on Ilikainen. Chris Mack in his 7th season. 6th NCAA tournament and 3 Sweet 16s for Chris Mack. Trying to make it 4 straight. He's been a very good tournament team recently.
It's very impressive. And this team has all the ingredients to go a long way.
James Farr kicks it out. Sumner for 3. And it's Brown flying high for the rebound. Xavier is trying to advance to the Sweet 16 for the 6th time in the last 9 years. That run that started with Sean Miller before he went to Arizona. There's a turnover again. Xavier ball when we come back. Tight in St. Louis with a trip to Philadelphia. The Sweet 16 on the line. All right, thanks, Greg. That'll be a fun one to watch. Northern Iowa with that amazing half-court buzzer beater by Paul Jesperson, who, by the way, is from Wisconsin, from Merrill, Wisconsin. And one of those shots that falls into the lore of NCAA tournament. Trayvon Blewett coming out of the timeout for Xavier, and Wisconsin controls the rebound. Xavier down a point. The 2C coming in here. Villanova is the lone Big East team that has advanced. Xavier trying to join into the Sweet 16. Turnover. Machira passes it up, gives it to Abel, who's wide open, and Remy Abel drills the 3.
Nice job by JP, putting pressure on the ball. Trayvon Blewett with the steal.
Xavier with their first lead on the 3-pointer by Remy Abel.
Remy Abel doing a nice job of knocking down these threes. 3 for 3 in the last game versus Weber State.
Koenig with a miss on the long 3, and Ilikainen stepped out of bounds. That'll be Xavier ball. Momentum turning a little bit. It's been a game of runs. That's the oldest cliche in basketball, but this game is fitting right into that.
Great job by James Farr just contesting. Forcing that turnover by just going after the basketball. I love the way both teams are competing, Brian.
This is now an 8-0 run for Chris Mack's Musketeers. Out of Cincinnati, that hotbed of college basketball. 2:25 to go. Bullet pass from Farr. Look at Sumner hang in the air. Edmund Sumner flying high. Up and under he goes. Xavier up 4.
Good job by Farr recognizing the double team. Quick pass, and Sumner just showing off those young legs.
Hayes goes behind the back, gives it up. Back to him from Koenig. All the way across. Wow, ball moving well. Vito Brown for 3. He's been a big-time 3-point shooter down the stretch at the end of conference play and into this tournament.
You must find Vito Brown if you're Xavier.
Snaps a 10-0 Xavier run. Xavier by a point with the ball. The 6'10" Farr, the left-hander. And a foul on the floor on Wisconsin.
Watch this. He still had a lot left. Thought he might have dunked it on the other side, and love the reaction from the bench.
And the assist to James Farr, the big man, setting up his point guard. Farr will shoot free throws. attempted the lone 4 free throws in the first round, made them all against Weber State. 18-point win for Xavier over the team from the Big Sky. That's out of bounds off of Ilakainen. So Xavier will maintain possession. Hey, don't forget, coming up on AT&T at the half, scores and highlights and the latest NCAA tournament news. That's all coming up, AT&T at the half.
Look at Jalen Reynolds and Khalil Iverson giving up a lot of size. Let's see if they can take advantage. If you're the Musketeers, go right down low, but Iverson front doing a nice job.
Makura turns a corner, and it's Hayes with a rebound. We got a foul on the floor, and I think that's going to be on Wisconsin. It is.
That's on Nigel Hayes. Badger fans are not liking this one.
Second foul on Nigel Hayes. There is a whole lot to deal with. We hit the broadcast today, Steve, you talking about the size of Xavier. They have 2 of their 3 6'10" centers in the game right now. Farr hits a free throw. Hayes and Reynolds going at it a little bit. Reynolds went to the ground. Nigel Hayes, it has been a monumental struggle going back to the Big Ten tournament. The shooting percentage is as low in this 3-game stretch as at any point in the career of Nigel Hayes. 3 for 17 against Pitt.
Well, he's struggling. He has to start to just do the little things if shots not going to go in.
James Farr hits them both. Xavier with a 3-point lead, 1:20 remaining in the first half.
In this 1-3-1 zone, look for the corners. If they can get it to the corners or the wings, be able to get some open shots. You got to make some passes. You got to take the air out of it. Good pass.
Bullet inside Ilakainen. Up and under he goes. Little reverse.
That was a gift for him.
First points in the NCAA tournament for Alex Ilakainen. Played just 3 minutes on Friday in round 1. Hot pass. Farr, what a catch on the bounce. Can't get it to go. And now Hayes looking for Koenig. He'll take it himself. Nigel is a very good ball handler, but he is playing with 2 fouls. About 15 seconds separate the shot clock and the game clock. Koenig, 3-point try is short.
Good contest by JP.
And now Wisconsin can take it to the end. And as Hayes was going for the timeout, Makura almost with a steal. Wisconsin ball. Shot clock is off. We'll see what kind of play Greg Gard draws up. We congratulate Maryland out of the Big Ten. They advance first time in the Sweet 16 for Maryland since 2003. Mark Turgeon's Terrapins moving on. Second Big Ten team. Turnover here. Steal by Makura to Sumner. And a whistle on a foul. And free throws for Edmund Sumner. Boy, just as Wisconsin during the timeout sets up the play for the last possession, Xavier steals one.
Well, great job by Chris Mack. He put Kaiser Gates all over the ball, and he just didn't concede of letting Wisconsin get the basketball in. A little 1-3-1 out of the timeout. Long arms on the play, and then Sumner gets to steal and gets right back to the free throw line and knocks this one down.
6 points for Edmund Sumner. He's a redshirt freshman, injured last year, leg injuries. It was a long road back, very difficult road back. Wasn't able to practice. That rehab schedule can get awful lonely, but he had his sights set on a potential run this year, and Xavier certainly is up for that. 18.8 left, and Xavier backs off the press. 3-point game. Wisconsin down with the ball. A foul. Sumner.
Didn't want that.
That's his second. So you got Miles Davis with 2 fouls. Sumner picks up his second foul. And Chris Mack will head to his bench. Larry Austin Jr. Those 5 fouls go quick in a game like this. And they're already given 2. Jordan Hill will run the point to this last stretch. Clock winding down to 2 to 1. Hill, the little teardrop. Can't get it to go, and that's how the first half comes to an end with Xavier up 33-30. Wisconsin led by 9. Xavier didn't have a lead until 1:23 left in this half. And they'll hit the locker room up 3. Chris Mack with Dana Jacobson. Take it away, Dana.
Coach, you talked to us a lot yesterday about the pace of this game, but in the end you said it's just putting the ball in the basket. How did you get back in this one down 9?
I didn't hear 3 words you just said, Dana. That band's so daggone loud. They're doing a great job.
Tell me how you guys got back in this one down 9.
Well, I think we settled down a little bit offensively. We started to get stops. Obviously, we weren't very good in our zone early on, but I thought more than anything, we settled down on offense.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
It is loud. I can attest for that. This place is packed, and we got an excellent matchup here, the Big Ten and the Big East. That's the end of the first half. Xavier by 3. We'll send you to AT&T at the half. After these messages, you're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. The gateway to the West as the road to the Final Four continues in St. Louis. First half stats, Xavier up 3, and it has been a very good defensive game as we have this Big Ten Big East matchup for a trip to the Sweet 16. Brian Anderson with Steve Smith. And talking about Xavier now, this is a team that led the Big East in scoring this year and only 33 points on the board in the first half.
Yeah, they missed some shots. Give Wisconsin a lot of credit. They play great defense, but I like what Xavier's done. They haven't panicked. They made some plays. They got back into this game. There's been some runs, but I like that they're getting to the free throw line and limiting Wisconsin from getting to the free throw line.
All right, let's listen in. Greg Gard standing by with Dana Jacobson. Dana.
Coach, Xavier started making shots towards the end of that first half, but you also had 5 of your 6 turnovers after about the 8-minute mark. Is it as simple as just taking better care of the ball?
Well, that is, and also trying to finish a little bit better around the rim each possession. A couple of those times we let them get out in transition, which I thought gave them some momentum and got them going a little bit, which obviously made their surge. And that's what they like to do, and we got to try to eliminate that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Greg Gard coming off his first NCAA tournament win. Taking over for Bo Ryan and the Wisconsin Badgers. Interesting note on Wisconsin. The last 3 NCAA tournament games where they have trailed at the half, they have won. That includes that Elite 8 victory over Arizona. Sean Miller, the former coach at Xavier. And then they were down 6. Remember, they scored just 16 points in the first half of that game against Pitt. So, Wisconsin basketball to start the second half. Xavier with a nice push at the end. They went on an 8-0 run. Xavier, very deep, very talented. Top scoring team in the Big East. We'll see how they respond. And it is Vito Brown out of the halftime locker room. Vito Brown has 12 points, Steve.
He's doing a nice job. I like the way he gets squared up and knocking down his shot. It doesn't post up a lot, but he's real good at flaring out, finding creases, and shooting a mid-range on a 3-point shot.
Remy Abel trying to go for the reverse, nothing there.
But he's had a nice game on both ends. Remy Abel's been fantastic for Xavier.
Xavier looking for their 29th win and another trip to the Sweet 16. That was poked away. He looked like Blewett got a hand on it. We haven't seen much from Trayvon Blewett thus far. Just 4 attempts, and Reynolds with a throwdown. Great pass, setting up Jalen Reynolds.
He's doing a nice job. Great sequence for him. Defensively on half of that play, and then to be able to finish that one. Beautiful by Showalter.
Showalter goes right by Edmund Sumner and up and under the rim to score the basket. Feels like a game that's going to go back and forth. We saw mild runs in the first half. Wisconsin scored the first 6 points. Xavier scored the next 6. Looking up top again. Reynolds, the catch and the throwdown again. Jalen Reynolds. Some hang time.
Edmund Sumner is the reason why. He is finding ways to get him the basketball.
Half with the little finger roll at the rim. Chris Mack told his Musketeers before the game, if you look up and the scoring is not what you're accustomed to, don't panic. Wisconsin is a slow-down team, but there's been a pretty decent flow in this game, especially in the Greg Gard era. Wisconsin running that swing offense.
Watch the little slip. Watch Sumner. A nice little pass for him. No look, and then a nice one. This is a touch pass he puts right on the money, and then Remy Abel, this is a big play. Drove the basketball extremely hard to the baseline and drew the foul on Vito Brown, and he has to come out with 3 fouls.
Jordan Hill will pick him up. Brown's been their best scorer, their best shooter. He's hit 5 shots, including 2 threes, and he'll sit with 12 points. Xavier with the ball in the lead. And Reynolds on Happ, and that's number 3 on Ethan Happ. So the foul trouble starting to stack up, and Greg Gard wastes no time. Going to his bench, Charlie Thomas will be in for Happ.
Greg Gard was thinking about getting Happ out, but sent Charlie back to the bench, and Jalen Reynolds usually likes to go middle. Nice play, but he missed it. And there's Jalen Reynolds. Again.
3 dunks in this half.
Take over, big fella, take over.
Just play above the rim with this guy. He's got a whole highlight reel of impressive dunks this year. Wisconsin down 3. Nigel Hayes, he has been very quiet. His only point was on a field goal was a dunk on a breakaway. He also hit a free throw, just 3 points. Sumner on the attack. And Sumner, tough shot. That was a bad shot by Sumner. Got himself in the air. Foul on Jalen Reynolds. Timeout.
Watch the inbounds play. Hayes with his back to the ball. And then Reynolds, heads up play, goes right to the glass. 1 step, go get it, big fella.
And my fault there. No timeout. Play on. Just making sure the whistle worked. There's Koenig. Koenig turns a corner, and what do we have? On the floor, foul on Xavier. Got Remy Abel there. Fouls are stacking up here.
Xavier has a deep team. They can go very, very deep.
They get great production from their bench. Nearly 29 points a game. And a foul on Xavier again. So this trip down the floor has produced 2 fouls on the X. They got Reynolds that time, and that's going to force Chris Mack to his bench.
Woohoo. I thought Reynolds did a nice job of bodying up. Guess the referees they didn't agree with me.
Inside to Hayes and Sumner. That's what you don't get from most point guards. At 6'6" with a wingspan, he comes over and helps defensively. Shot clock at 20. Second half in St. Louis. The winner moving on to the Sweet 16. 3-point basket. Bronson Koenig.
You know, I think for Chris Mack, I know he wants to get to that 1-3-1, but you got to find a way to relay to your players where's Koenig, because he's not making shots on man-to-man defense, but in this 1-3-1, he's getting open looks and he's knocking those down.
He's made all 3 of his 3-pointers tonight in the zone. Mack went away from that zone after Koenig hit his 2nd in the first half. Koenig again. And dribbled it right off his shoe. Turnover. Abel came away with it. Davis looking for somebody. Avon blew it. And now it's Davis for 3. Off the back iron, and Hayes is swatted by Farr. Nigel Hayes fouled by the big man from Xavier. All tied at 39. The Xavier program led by Chris Mack. Most NCAA tournament wins by a Xavier head coach. Mack has 7 of them. 7 different leading scorers. Extremely balanced and talented across in that massive front line. He's got 11 players 6'5" or taller, and those 4 at 6'10". And a finalist for the Naismith Coach of the Year, Chris Mack. Transfer from the A-10 to the Big East. And the transition was a success. He took over, and in his first year at Xavier, Mack took the Musketeers to a Sweet 16, and he's trying to get back-to-back years. Showalter puts up a wild shot out of the timeout. Tie game, 15:27 left. Winner here will head to Philadelphia in the Sweet 16. Blew it, and looked like Hill called for the foul. Jordan Hill gets hit with the foul. Mike Eads on the call. His second.
Let's look at it. Abel missing it, dropping it. That's a tough call.
Wisconsin in a bit of foul trouble here. Blewett working on Nigel Hayes. Little turnaround, fall away. Not there, and Charlie Thomas with the rebound.
Not a bad look.
We got Ethan Happ
Blewett
with 3 fouls for Wisconsin. Vito Brown has 3 fouls for Wisconsin. It's 21 points on the bench right now of the 39 Wisconsin has scored.
I mean, when they're man-to-man, Abel does a nice job on Koenig. It's that 1-3-1 where he's getting open looks.
And Blewett is a premier defender as well. 3-point try. Hayes misses again. Nigel Hayes now 0 for 4 from behind the arc. 1 of 6 tonight. Sumner for 3. Long rebound out to Koenig.
It's interesting right now. Abel not on Koenig. Let's see what happens.
Koenig fouled. Macura. Good call, Steve. JP Macura. Koenig has a lightning quick first step. Gets a lot of fouls that way. The junior from La Crosse, Wisconsin. Started the final 24 games last year. Trey Jackson injured. Koenig came in, filled in, and was a premium player for him all through the tournament on into the championship game. And that loss against Duke.
Blewett doing a nice job on Nigel Hayes, just 1 of 6. See if he can get going.
Happ back in, 3 fouls. He is fouled, and count the basket. Ethan Happ, a chance at a 3-point play.
Well, that's a good job by Hayes. Recognized that Sean O'Mara came over too much. Happ 1 step, body again into O'Mara, and he finishes through contact.
A star on the rise. Big Ten coaches will tell you Ethan Happ is trending towards a potential player of the year in the Big Ten at some point in his career. He's got a lot of time left in his redshirt freshman season this season. Deep inside, O'Mara strong to the glass.
I think Xavier just has to find a way. And Sumner and also Chris Mack together got to find a way. Just pound the basketball in, let them play off these bigs. And if they want to double, then JP Macura and also these shooters, Abel, and also Blewett can get some shots. But play through the inside with that size. Abel's doing a nice job on Koenig one-on-one.
And Blewett not giving an inch on Nigel Hayes. Tough shot. Can't get it to go. O'Mara pulls down the board. Here comes Sumner. Finds Blewett. And Blewett will get it organized here. Blewett's had a tough time getting going here. All Big East performer.
That's a good move by Blewett.
And Blewett finally sees one go through. Trayvon Blewett. He is a major weapon offensively. 7 points now.
Nigel Hayes tried to beat him over the screen. Blewett just calmly, fundamentally ripped through, over the top. 1 dribble pull-up.
It's a very balanced team, Xavier. Blewett leads him in scoring, though. And Happ with the spin and the left hand. Chris Mack searching for answers. He quickly calls on Jalen Reynolds to check back in. Happ with 14. Playing with those 3 fouls. Blewett again. Hayes defends. Blewett to the hole. And Hayes and Blewett. There's the foul on Nigel Hayes. A lot of activity under the glass there. And they're going to get Nigel Hayes on the foul as we check in with Dana Jacobson. More on Ethan Happ. What do you have, Dana?
Having another good game is what he's doing. I had a chance to talk to Frank Kaminsky yesterday, who obviously worked a lot with Ethan Happ last year. Frank told me he saw a lot of himself in Happ, but that he's forged his own identity. He believes that he could be one of the best players in school history, which obviously meant a lot to Ethan when I talked with him. He said he learned from Frank Kaminsky the hard way in scrimmages and practices. picked up some of the footwork, and obviously after getting a few shots blocked, he learned how to get a little bit better on defense.
Thank you, Dan. Big three-point shot. Xavier up 2. By the way, Ethan Happ, just to follow up on Dan's report, he scored 7 of Wisconsin's last 10 points, and high praise from Frank Kaminsky that he could emerge as one of the best players ever. Koenig with the answer. And Wisconsin regains the lead.
That was Koenig's first look over Remy Abel, and he knocked that one down. In the last possession for Xavier, J.P. McCure just knocked down a long-range shot. And with Xavier right now, you want to find a way to go to Jalen Reynolds. See if you can get Ethan Happ to pick up his 4th.
And a table for 3. He's got it. 3-pointers are falling now. Bill Murray approves.
I love Remy's Abel's game on both ends.
And that's going the other way. Offensive foul on Wisconsin. Xavier ball. And a 2-point lead, and the threes are raining down. Remy Abel connects following the McCura 3. And the X is rolling. Wow, what an update there. One to watch here in St. Louis, Wisconsin and Xavier. Xavier leads by 2. Last 3 possessions have been 3-pointers. 2 by Xavier, 1 by Wisconsin. But McCura and Remy Abel both knocked down long-range 3s. Xavier in the lead with the ball.
Brian, if I'm Xavier, I'm trying to get the basketball down to Jalen Reynolds.
Sumner on the take. Can't get it to go. It's a rebound for Ethan Happ.
The reason why he's had some success. He came out with some energy. He had 3 big dunks. Happ has 3 fouls, and you want to try to get him in foul trouble if you can.
Wisconsin has 3 players on the floor right now with 3 fouls and a turnover. Brown went right to Sumner. Here's McCura, 3-point try again. And Hayes with the rebound. Or the Xavier portion of this crowd was ready to jump if McCura knocks that one down. And a foul in the paint. Offensive. That's on Wisconsin.
That's on Vito Brown. J.P. McCure does a nice job of what he does, Brian, is he fights you, he battles you. He's not afraid to put his face right on your shoulder.
4th foul on Vito Brown, and let's watch McCura 55.
Watching works. Watch where he puts. Oh,
and that little elbow. And the foul is called. Wow, interesting. Foul trouble is a story for Wisconsin.
That takes away their spacing and 3-point shooting by Vito Brown.
Blewett lost it, but right to Sumner. Returns the favor, Blewett comes up short. That's Iverson with the rebound. So now Wisconsin going to be asking big minutes out of freshmen here. And inside to Hayes, and he finally gets one to go. So his 2 field goals have been right at the rim. One on a breakaway dunk. That was impressive.
And that's where he should play right now. You got to understand what's working and what's not working. Good job by Reynolds. Not a great entry pass, but he made it work. Great hands. Go back to him.
Beautiful finish. Double digits for Jalen Reynolds. He has 10. He has not missed. He has 8 of those 10 in this half.
And look at him slide his feet. I mean, matchups after matchup. Blewett, Hayes going at it.
And that's going to be another foul on Wisconsin. And who's he going to get here? 21, not 22. Everybody anxious for that one. Khalil Iverson.
Look at the gather. Bad pass. Happ played the play, but Reynolds made that happen. Great hands. Catches it, gathers, and goes right back up. Brian, it's a must right now if you're Xavier, just to give him a look. Keep giving him a look, and Happ is out of the game right now.
Happ has 3. They called the foul on Iverson. Sumner will shoot the 1-and-1. Xavier's going to be in the bonus, as is Wisconsin. There's a lot of game to be played here. 9 minutes and change, and Sumner misses. Sumner now 3 of 7 from the free throw line. And what figures to be a game won or lost at the free throw line. Showalter, the ball fake to the tape. And Iverson follows, but he's fouled. What an athlete he is, Khalil Iverson. Gates hit with the foul there, the freshman. Choose your favorite player on the court or for your taste with Coca-Cola and the NCAA tournament.
Good job by Khalil Iverson following up off the miss.
This is a guy that his playing time is sporadic. He's only attempted 34 free throws throughout the regular season. He's not here a lot. Averages 13.3 minutes. And he misses them both.
Free throws could be huge coming down the stretch.
And there might be a lot of them.
Both teams struggling.
Both teams in the bonus with all these fouls. Each team with 7 fouls. And another whistle, make it 8 fouls now. And Wisconsin.
That's on Charlie Thomas. He tried to just go right through Miles Davis. Miles Davis standing there setting that pick. Didn't flinch, but he took one.
And Ethan Happ comes back.
Chess match for Coach Gard. Trying to find ways to keep Happ on the floor on the offensive end. In and out, defense, offense for him with Charlie Thomas.
Happ returns with 14. Miles Davis hits the first of the 1-and-1. He is an excellent free throw shooter. Miles Davis finished second in the Big East Conference in free throw percentage this year, 85%. And he hits them both. Xavier stretching their lead to 4. It's been a tight one. Xavier had a 3-point halftime lead. Ton of fouls. A lot of time left, and we'll probably see a lot of free throws.
Love the way Xavier gets after. And there's Iverson going against Sumner.
Got caught in among 3 Xavier Musketeers. Shot clock at 9. And Koenig can't hit. 1 and done for Wisconsin. Davis on the push. Sumner to the hole. Sumner, no. And a high rebound by Zach Showalter.
I mean, Sumner just going too fast. Just survey the floor. He's young. And look at Miles Davis work against Happ.
Got a mismatch inside, but
Kaiser Gates doing a good job of helping over so they can't get the lob. And good switch by Reynolds and Miles Davis. Great play to get Reynolds back on Happ.
Shot clock at 4. Tough shot again. And it misses again. Reynolds rips down the rebound. Excellent defense by Xavier.
Jalen Reynolds is playing a game. Love to see Xavier just reward him just with another look down here on the block.
Each team has made 2 threes in the second half. Xavier bench coming up big as usual. Getting nearly 29 points a night from their bench. Abel, quick first step, all the way in, he's fouled, and free throws coming. Remy Abel, the senior from Louisville, the Indiana transfer. He'll shoot a pair. Xavier has the lead, trying to add to it. Second half in St. Louis. Got a good one here, Big East against Big Ten. We saw a couple of shots of Bill Murray there as his son, Luke, one of the assistants, top recruiter for Chris Mack.
He's intense. He's into this one. His coaching staff working hard on both sides.
Free throws for Remy Abel. Without going to the basket, 2 free throws coming for him. Xavier now up 5. Remy Abel, 77% free throw shooter. He's hit all 4 tonight and make it 5 out of 5. Xavier stretching their lead, 6-point lead. Wisconsin with the ball. This is Xavier's largest lead of the night.
Where the Badgers go. They go right to Ethan Happ.
Happ with Reynolds on him. And now Hill for 3.
Look at Reynolds. Look at Reynolds.
Look at Reynolds. Look out, folks.
Yes.
Oh, Jalen Reynolds. Kept the ball in the air where only he can get a hold of it. And another dunk for Jalen Reynolds. Rim still shaking. 8-0 run for Xavier.
He's had a fantastic half on both ends, and there's Xavier right now pushing up the pace, and good job by Kaiser Gates on the rebound, and Edmund Sumner bringing it over. And you know where I would go right now, Brian. I would go right down to Jalen Reynolds.
And he's feeling
You got to give it to him.
He finds Miles Davis. Kick it across. Kaiser Gates on the take. Gates is fouled.
Look at it. Tip it to yourself, big fella. Go get it. Get it down in there. Here we go. He's excited.
Reynolds with 12 points. Has not missed, but they've all been right about there. He's 6 for 6 from the field. He's got 7 rebounds. And doing a terrific job on the defensive end as well. Get the CBS Sports app to follow your brackets, watch highlights, and get instant team and upset alerts. Download the CBS Sports app now. Kaiser Gates, freshman from Alpharetta, Georgia. Very bright future, and it's 1 out of 2. It's a 9-0 Xavier run. Nigel Hayes with 4 fouls now. We got Brown with 4 fouls. He's on the floor. Hayes will sit for the time being. Check out the action on True TV. Texas A&M trying to make a run down the stretch. That's on True TV right now. Northern Iowa and Texas A&M. The team from the SEC have a final push in them. Foul on Gates. And free throws coming for Ethan Happ.
Good job by Happ. Great hesitation move. And a draw to foul.
2-shot foul here as Happ is in the act of shooting. It's the first. Trayvon Blewett in for Kaiser Gates. And the Xavier freshman gave him some good minutes.
You can see teammates appreciate the positive minutes Kaiser Gates gave them.
2 free throws for Ethan Happ. That snaps a 9-0 Xavier run. Happ now with 16 points. 4 of those coming from the line. 7-point Xavier lead. X with the ball. Davis finds Reynolds. And wow, Reynolds falling right down on Showalter. A lot of contact. Awkward fall as well. If Showalter doesn't come in and disrupt that play, Reynolds has another dunk.
Good pass by Miles Davis. Ethan Happ had to come in and step up. Davis put the pressure on. The defense stopped. And you can see,
Ouch. That's a tough way to fall.
That hurts.
Right there. So Reynolds will shoot the free throw. 66% free throw shooter. Did not attempt a free throw in Xavier's win over Weber State. They shot just 4 free throws on Friday in that opening round game. Tonight, they're 13 for 20 from the free throw line. And still 5 minutes, 42 seconds remaining. 1 out of 2 for Reynolds. And the daughters of Chris Mack.
and they're having a great time.
They're into it all.
They're trying to do the wave.
Laney and
Shooting
Haley.
the jump shot, working on that follow through.
Shooting mechanics trying to send it over to their Xavier players. Vito Brown passed up a 3. Shot clock into single digits once again. Koenig, checked by Abel. Koenig in there and a foul on the floor. Called before the shot.
It's been a battle, Koenig and Abel. Both those guys going back and forth, back and forth.
True TV right now coming down the stretch, 11 seconds. Texas A&M is in there right now. 71-69. Check it out on True TV as that one comes to an exciting conclusion. Down 11 at one point. 2 free throws for Bronson Koenig. Xavier by 6. With the ball, approaching 5 minutes in regulation here in St. Louis. A trip to Philadelphia and a Sweet 16 on the line.
Jalen Reynolds wants that basketball.
Happ with 3 fouls. He poked it away from behind. Showalter doesn't have numbers, but he's going anyway. And Showalter finishes 1 on 3.
Good job by Happ without fouling. Jalen Reynolds trying to crab dribble. just poked it out of there. And he just baited Jalen Reynolds into a foul.
Offensive foul. This, the first turnover of the half for Xavier.
Nice poke away. And then Zach Showalter, like you said, didn't have numbers, but scored it. Then he came down, Jalen Reynolds, and created the offensive foul.
So Reynolds picks up his third. And Wisconsin down 4 with the ball. The guts of Zach Showalter to take on 3 Musketeers. Now half inside, nothing there. Reynolds standing tall. Sumner, little hesitation, and to the basket he goes. Edmund Sumner, that little hesitation. Lightning quick to the basket. Big bucket for Xavier.
It was. Making a 2-possession game.
No Nigel Hayes on the floor. He's on the bench with 4 fouls. Under 4 we go. Badgers down 6. Shot clock at 7. Here's Jordan Hill turning the corner all the way in. With the left he finishes.
Well, Jalen Reynolds didn't want to leave Ethan Happ. And that's sometimes when you're playing, checking a special player like that, you're reluctant to leave him. Open up the lane for Jordan Hill. Nice move.
They're going to overtime on True TV. Northern Iowa, Texas A&M. What a comeback for the Aggies. Big rebound, Ethan Happ.
Greg Gard, you might want to start to think about getting Nigel Hayes back into this ball game.
There's been a lot of lopsided games in the second round of this tournament, but we got a couple right now that are tight as they can be. Wisconsin and Xavier. As we approach the 3-minute mark, Vito Brown too strong. Mercuro the rebound, and Xavier will control it. Timeout. Everybody catch your breath.
Good timeout by Chris Mack. And let's watch this. Edmund, hesitation, speed, quickness, athleticism, bucket. 61-57. We have a ball game. 3 minutes and 2 seconds left.
All right, Greg, thanks. That is something to watch there. The winner will take on Oklahoma in Anaheim at the Sweet 16. We're all over that. Here in St. Louis, a tight one. 61-57 Xavier out of the Big East against the Big Ten's Badgers. Edmund Sumner kicks it. Hayes got a hand on it, and that's going to be out of bounds off of Hayes. Nigel Hayes thought it was off. Blew it. Takes us to a timeout. Good finish here in St. Louis. 2:47 left. Xavier has the lead. He's only missed 4 shots and 12 rebounds through the first 2 games. Tonight, Reynolds with 13 and 7. It'll be Xavier ball. Out of bounds off of Hayes. Blew it. Steps back. Got himself some room. Can't get it to go. And Happ with a big board for Wisconsin.
That's a big-time box out by Happ.
His 6th rebound. Ethan Happ with 16 points. Maybe most importantly at this stage of the game, he's played with 3 fouls for a good chunk of this second half. Badgers down 4. Here's Koenig with Mercuro on him. Koenig, no, Brown's in there. Happ's got it. Happ up strong, and it goes. Ethan Happ puts the Badgers within 2. 18 points for Ethan Happ.
On both ends. Happ with a nice box out and rebound. And then on this play, an offensive rebound and going up strong. Finishes in a timeout, Wisconsin.
What a game tonight in St. Louis with a trip to the Sweet 16 in Philadelphia on the line. Each team with 2 timeouts. Right now the possession arrow belongs to Xavier, and keep in mind both teams are in the double bonus, and it's been in the bonus since about the 9-minute mark. This one could come down to free throws. Sumner on the tape, and it's swatted. Ethan Happ with a block. What can't this kid do? Golden opportunity for Wisconsin. Inside, Happ. And excellent defense by Edmund Sumner. As we check it in real quick with Dana.
Guys, I was peering in on the Wisconsin huddle, and what they were preaching was to get stops, then keep working around the basket. It's exactly what we saw from Ethan Happ there, and it has them right now within 2 of Xavier.
Happens made a defensive rebound, an offensive rebound in the bucket, and then a huge block shot.
Wisconsin has 6 blocks tonight. Here's Nigel Hayes. Turn, aggressive, he's fouled. Blewett got him. Nigel Hayes will go to the free throw line with a chance to tie this game.
I love the move by Nigel Hayes. His best move, he went quick, didn't wait for the defense. Spent, and yes, fouled by Blewett.
Hayes comfortable at the line, but hasn't been there very often tonight. Just 2 free throw attempts. He made 1 out of 2. Very poor shooting game for him, but he hits the first. And the Badgers are within a point. Wisconsin knows they have to have him, and Hayes knows they have to have him if they're going to move on. And even though he's struggling shooting the basketball, he's going to play big, you would figure, down the stretch. That's a big miss. 1 out of 2. Xavier still in the lead with the ball. 1:25 remaining in regulation in St. Louis.
You have to make the plays now, down the stretch.
Blewett. Showalter got a hand on it. And it's Koenig who comes away with it. 1 and done for Xavier. Wisconsin can take the lead.
Both coaches with 2 timeouts, minute left. Going right down into half.
Happ working on Reynolds. Happ, and he's out of bounds. Turnover. Jalen Reynolds standing firm. Happ dribbles it right out of bounds. What a
Look
stand.
at this play.
He slipped.
It looks like he hit a wet spot or stepped on Reynolds' foot.
Foot went right out from under him. Chris Mack wants a timeout. He wants to get across the timeline. And Mack gets Miles Davis to call the timeout. 52.3 seconds. A slip has given the ball back to Xavier with a lead. It'll be Xavier ball. They have 1 timeout remaining. Possession arrow still belongs to Xavier on a held ball. Wisconsin still has 2 timeouts left. Jalen Reynolds has been a beast tonight, 13 points. He and Remy able to lead the Xavier scoring. And talk us through a little strategy here, Steve, with Chris Mack and company.
Well, he has a lot of options. I think for him is you want to try to find a way to get Reynolds to be involved, at least in the pick and roll, make Ethan help. I think for him is he's going to run some kind of motion offense, like I said, and try to find Reynolds. He didn't get it.
Almost a turnover. Xavier scored on only 1 of their last 7 possessions. Shot clock down to 7. Sumner wants to take Hayes. Sumner up and under, and it goes! Edmund Sumner. The take to the rim gives him a 3-point lead.
Quickness. Blew past Hayes for a nice little layup, and now Wisconsin got to find a way to get going.
On a second separating shot clock and game clock. Bronson Koenig ties it up. Oh my! Koenig, who has hit some big shots in his Wisconsin career, just ties this baby at 63. Wow!
Watch Sumner blow past Hayes with a reverse. Nice shot, it goes in. But look at Koenig from deep. That's the way you draw it up, Coach Carr. Just get the basketball to him. No play. That's individual talent. Bronson Koenig knocking down a huge 3.
Thriller here in St. Louis. Double overtime on True TV, Northern Iowa and Texas A&M. Boy, what a night. Trips to the Sweet 16 on the line. Bronson Koenig. Big time shot. Koenig hit a game winner earlier this year against VCU. Has some clutch shooting from behind the arc in the last 5 minutes of a game or overtime. He is their go-to guy, and he just got it tied. Now, Xavier with 11.7 left. Who takes the big shot?
Let's see Sumner. He tries to use his speed.
Showalter cut him off. Sumner. And what do we got? Offensive foul! Wisconsin basketball!
You're talking about a huge play. Zach Showalter against Sumner with the quickness, understanding to get in position, take it, beat him to the spot. That's beautiful defense by Zach.
4.3 seconds. Wisconsin ball. Koenig. Clock ticks. Koenig. Speed dribble. And what do we have here? Whistle. Timeout. Greg Gard wants to set one up with 2 seconds. Ooh, do you like the timeout there, Steve?
Yeah, I did. I loved it, the way he got a chance to push the basketball, get a timeout with 2 seconds left. Now they have a chance for the last shot.
It's come down to this in regulation. 2 seconds left. Wisconsin out of timeouts. Xavier fans worried. A huge three by Bronson Koenig tied it. An offensive foul on the other end by Edmund Sumner. And with Bronson Koenig in the speed dribble, Nigel Hayes called the timeout, and now Wisconsin will set it up.
Yes, and coaches can't make the timeout, and as you can see, Nigel Hayes calling timeout, both him and Vito Brown. But good push by Koenig. Koenig was saying, hey, I was feeling it.
He was.
I wanted to get a chance to get a shot off, but with 2 seconds left, you look at right now for Wisconsin, the Badgers, you can catch, pump fake, and escape dribble, and can get a shot off in 2 seconds.
Here we go. 2 to go. Trip to the Sweet 16. Koenig's got it. Rises up. The shot. And it's good! It's good! Wisconsin has won it! The officials check the monitor, confirm the call. The Wisconsin Badgers are advancing to the Sweet 16 on a buzzer beater. Wow.
And Brian, on that last play, before the shot, Koenig came around those screens. I mean, motoring to be able to get the basketball. That was huge. And then the presence of mind to catch and knock down a fadeaway three. Watch him coming off. Good defense. Nice one dribble, and look at him. Elevation, on balance, and he knew it was going in. He fell into his teammates on the bench. What a shot. Good defense by Abel. What can you say? He contested without fouling all over him. Bronson Koenig knocked that one down. Beautiful.
It'll go down as one of the great shots in Wisconsin basketball history. It goes into March Madness lore. Bronson Koenig wins it for Wisconsin, 66-63. And we send it over to Dana with Greg Gard.
So, Coach, was that the play that you drew up?
It was, yeah, exactly how we wanted it. It was either Nigel at the rim or Bronson coming to the corner. So we worked on it a few times in practice, and it always looks better when the ball goes in.
That's the way you want it to happen. For you, such an emotional season, taking over this team in December, the loss of your father, and now you are headed to the Sweet 16. What does that mean?
I've had an extra assistant coach all year, a guardian angel, so to speak, pun intended. I can't say enough about our guys and our program and how people have rallied around me and everything that, as we battled the cancer with my dad and then to lose him in late October and everything we've gone through this season. I'm not here without those guys and all the support, and that's what we're extremely proud of.
Give this guy a hug as I welcome him in. Bronson, come on in here.
I'm going to try to calm down so I don't sound like last year's Big Ten Championship. All right.
Bronson, it looked like you wanted to take that shot even before the timeout.
Yeah, I mean, I told Ethan if I'm open, pass me the ball, and I just try to channel my inner Steph Curry, and it worked.
Your inner Steph Curry, what was it about this team in the second half? You guys never quit. Is it because you've been here before?
Yeah, most definitely.
least it was water, right?
At least it was water, not Gatorade. It's not going to stain. All right. But sorry, what was your question?
Just how much fun is this moment for you?
It's so fun, going back-to-back Final Fours and then getting a whole new team, basically, and then getting this far when nobody really thought we could do it. It's special.
This season has been so up and down. It's what I said to Coach back in December, before he took over, even as he was. Did you imagine that this was where you would be headed back to the Sweet 16?
I mean, our goal is always to win a national championship, and we always believed in ourselves. The difference was, the media didn't really believe in us. So hopefully you guys believe now.
Survive in advance. Congratulations. Go enjoy with your teammates.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Dana, thanks. Bronson Koenig, that is a memory for a lifetime. A game-winning basket in the NCAA tournament to send them to the Sweet 16. Wow, Smitty, you've been there. You've had that kind of shot before. You'll never forget that moment.
Not at all. What a great feeling. Give a lot of credit to Ethan Happ. Made some plays down the stretch on both ends. Defensively, a block, some offensive rebounds and a putback. And then Bronson Koenig, way to find your stroke in one of the biggest games for Badgerland. I mean, he came off that screen motoring. Love the way he squared up and knocked down that three.
Man, do we have some matchups in Philadelphia. North Carolina, the top seed of the East. They'll match up against Indiana, Notre Dame, and Wisconsin. And if you follow this Badger team all year long, this is about as improbable as it gets. This team was looking like it was going to miss the NCAA tournament after the first week of Big Ten play. Not the case. Badgers end on a 15-4 run. Bronson Koenig wins it. And the Badgers are moving on to the Sweet 16. For Steve Smith, Dana Jacobson, and the rest of our crew, led in the truck by Scott Cockrell and Renardo Lowe. I'm Brian Anderson saying so long from St. Louis. We'll send you to our studio after these messages. Congratulations to the Wisconsin Badgers. Sweet 16 bound.